What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Before we get any further in the video, let's check out the you see it? You see it and you love it. Even if you do not like the Raiders, keep it real. Our gear is always the flyest. Shots fired. Before I get into the video, I noticed something today. The small channel, the Dub S channel, has passed 12,000 subscribers. Thank you guys. As of right now, 11:08 a.m., this channel, the big channel, is 2 subs away from 46,000. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate you. Today's video actually was inspired by a reaction video I did on the Dub S channel. I think I gotta change the gain on my mic. I keep seeing it going to the red. So let me back this up a little bit. Maybe that'll help. This video was in response to let me quiet my phone. Response to a reaction video I did on the Dub S channel. The reaction was to a Wes Watson video. By the way, I may be doing a Wes Watson video on that channel today because you guys, no matter how many I do, you guys are always requesting them. So I gotta give you what you guys want. In the video, Wes Watson was talking about how in prison you're gonna see people doing, signing through the windows and all that, and you're going to learn sign language. And in the video I said, hey, everybody, getting close, getting real close. Right there's far enough. Don't fucking get closer than that. But anyways, getting real close. I said, I'm gonna let you know a secret. I don't know sign language. And there were people that were like, how are you in prison? You don't know sign language. Simple. There was a time when I had the sign language book, not just the alphabet, actual sign language, American Sign Language book, right? And people were studying sign language, and then the word came down. Don't use sign language. If something is hot, send it on a verbal, pass it along verbally if possible. If that's not possible, put it in a weed line. When you put it in a weed line, make sure it's coded up. You don't write a whole entire weed line. Kite for you guys, which weed line, kite, also note this so everybody's aware. When we put a weed line together, whatever we have to say, we say. Whatever's hot, we code up. Because if you code up the whole weed line, it's easier to break because you start looking at, I'm not going to say, wow, they know. You start breaking down, the first thing you break down are the vowels. Vowels are easy to figure out. Once you break down the vowels, it's pretty easy to start breaking the code. Now, if you can see me signing to you, right? Let's just break it all the way down. If you have the ability to see me signing to you, then I should have the ability to shoot a fishing line to you. And you should have the ability to catch my line. I'll speak from my personal experience. I had codes, and prison being prison, the way things are, if you're smart, you'll do what I did. Hey, what? Did I compliment myself right there? Lightweight. Was not intentional. But reality. facts here. Let's say I have a code with Jimmy. Okay. Whoever Jimmy is, me and Jimmy are doing business. We're going to have certain terms, phrases, words. You know, it could be a 3-word phrase. Whatever that 3-word phrase is, we are gonna come to an understanding. This 3-word phrase, which is gonna be harmless, that we can put in any we can put in any letter. Remember, this is before cell phones. I'll get to the cell phones in a minute. That 3-word phrase, or maybe it's a 5-word phrase, is gonna be harmless to everyone but us. That phrase could mean, I need the green light to kill this dude. It could have whatever meaning we want. And we're going to have several different phrases. We're going to change the definition of words. Okay, that's me and Jimmy. Then me and Paul over here, he and I are going to have a code. I will not have the same phrases with Paul as I do with Jimmy. Because I don't know what happens to Jimmy a year from now, 2 months from now. I don't know what happens to Paul a year from now, 2 years from now. If Jimmy gets in a wreck and then Jimmy decides he's going to be a punk and give up my code, he only has a code that me and him used. You don't recycle codes. As a person that has any brains, you don't recycle codes because you never know what's going to happen. It's a hassle. You have to commit everything to memory. If you haven't sharpened your memory up, then you are going to have to keep a master on you. Very mini writing. That thing is either in your mouth or in the trunk at all times. Never leave it laying around. But that's your key. That's your master key to whatever code you have. I used to be able to write letters when I had to, which was rare. At a certain point, I didn't have to write them anymore. But I could say, and I don't want to I'm not going to give up how my letters were broken down, but I'll just say the first paragraph let whoever received the letter know how long the message is and where to look for it. And you could read that letter and you would not see nothing. And it could be a very deadly letter. But so when I hear about signing and when people are telling me, well, how are you in prison? You don't know how to sign. Because if you're in your cell and you're signing from your cell to another cell, the cops learn sign language. Whatever the convicts are using, the cops have to learn. Say there's a rookie up there. Who's to say that they don't have a camera recording the cells? So you have an idiot signing something hot from his cell to another cell that he could fish to. Does that sound professional? Does that sound like that person, whatever faction he's from, he's really a soldado for his faction? Or does it sound like a kid who is caught up in I'm an inmate gang? I'm a convict. I'm an inmate gang. Game, not gang. Game. Okay? I remember the first time I was in the oil and I spoke Nahuatl on the tier. Just a harmless thing. It wasn't anything hard. And one of the camaradas who's now a legend. This dude was so cool, man. And he reached out to me and he was like, hey, just, a heads up, homie, that, that language isn't supposed to be on the tira. You weren't saying anything important, but the wrong person gets on this tier and hears you, using that language frivolously, it could be a problem for you. And I told him, hey, gracias, homie, I didn't know that. And so, it's very important. These people that tell these stories, and you have to, I know a lot of you guys have never been to prison, but you got to understand, California is very, very dangerous. The prison system is extremely dangerous. What are you signing for? Like, why? I'm not going to hang out on the door. Like, that would piss your Sally off. Like, if you have a Sally who's been around and done time, hey, homie, get off the floor, eh? Like, get on your rack. I'm on my rack. I'm studying. You're studying. We're being productive. If you're busting down, then you're on the freeway. I mean, you're in the walkway. Get out the walkway as soon as you're done. Bird bath, whatever you're doing. But you don't occupy the floor. There's 2 men in there. You don't hang out on the door all day and talk or sign, right? Now, I said that I wanted to get to the cell phones before I go too, right? Let's talk about cell phones. So cell phones really started hitting in 2004. I mentioned where when I was in New Folsom, the blacks had the plug and they had all the cell phones. But I knew the dude that was the plug was in the same section with me. And I knew sooner or later he's going to come to me. Everybody on the yard knows I got the bag. I got money, right? This is a business transaction. Sure enough, one day he comes to my cell and he's like, hey, can I talk to you? I told him, hey, they're going to crack my door for shower right now or whatever. I came out on the tier. We talked on the tier. And he said, I know you know I got them things. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, I've been waiting for you to come and get at me. And he goes, hey, you want to get one? I said, hell yeah. I said, how much is it? I've told the story repeatedly. And he said $500. Now, I was expecting him, I mean, and this is when they first started coming in 2004. 2003, 2004. And I was expecting it to be a huge number. I mean, at least 2,000 minimum, right? When he said 500, I had to, like, don't fucking laugh, fool. Like, really tell myself, don't laugh that it's $500. And I told him, you want the money right now? You want cash? Or you want me to send it somewhere? He was like, you got cash on you? I said, of course. I said, you want it right now? I can get out the cell. And he's like, no. Just send it over here. So that's what I did. The free staff that was bringing him in got caught. So I can say it was from a free staff, right? And he was supplying all the facilities in New Folsom. The feds raided him on the yard, set up cameras in his work area, and then raided him on the yard. So he got cracked, went to Sacramento County Jail, all that. So I can say that. Now, when they started, the whisper started that they were going to let all the legends out, that the hunger strikes worked, that everything worked, and they were going to start letting legends out on everything I love. I was talking to somebody and I said, listen, these Huras do not want any of these guys out. I said, this is exactly what these motherfuckers are going to do. They're going to assign specific cops to specific groups of legends, to specific factions. And these cops are going to act like they're cool, eh? They're just in it for the money. And they're going to start selling cell phones. But every one of the cell phones is going to be tapped. Also, all you need is a phone number. All the feds need is a phone number. It's not like the old days where they had to go in and break in and go tap your phone. No. All they need is a phone number to get every text. You know, people think like these certain apps that they're using on their phone that they're encrypted on. They're encrypted by the fucking government. Shit is thrown out there to I mean, I don't know. People could, getting back, I don't want to get into the whole fucking go get lost in the weeds again. But I had told somebody, I said, listen, this is what they're going to fucking do. They are so afraid of these dudes because they've been in the shoe. All these cops, most of them didn't even fucking work for the CDC when these dudes were out on the yards killing and doing whatever they were doing. These are the boogeymen. They're scared to death. They're going to want to know exactly what they're up to. The fucking modern technology is the easiest fucking way to do that. Sure enough, juras start. You know, juras have always been dirty because they live above their means. They do that, right? I've talked about that. We always knew we can see a new jura come in and we know. Give him a year. How about going to live beyond his means and then we can crack him? But this is different. I really believe that every cell phone in every prison, unless if you get them from free staff, you're probably all right. The problem is, and I know this from when I used to sell dope in the joint, vatos are buying dope from me and then another homie, and then sneaking off and buying from the blacks. They can't afford to pay everybody. What do? They tell on you. The juras can't do nothing. They know you're slinging. Everybody knows you're slinging because dudes are constantly dropping kites because they don't want to pay. But see, now they can give up a cell phone number as well. That's all the juras need. So even if you get a phone from a free staff, and this goes back to anybody with any sense, even on a cell phone now, you're talking in code. Whoever you talk to has to know the same key as you, though. You can't give them the key on the phone because you can't trust the phone. Imagine living like that, man, where every day it's cat and mouse with the cops, cat and mouse with the feds. Every single conversation you have, can you trust the guy you're talking to? Every time somebody buys a paper off of you, a gram off of you, or does any kind of deals with you, whatever it is that vato, is he legit? You never know. Till later, and you're like, damn. They start hitting you with the 1030 forms. Those are the confidential information forms you get hit with. You get hit with that, but when you get hit with that, you're gone. Now there's no indeterminate shoes, so I don't know how they're doing it. I went deep in the weeds. I said I wasn't going to go in the weeds. I went deep in the weeds on that. But I think this is probably interesting to a lot of you guys. And I know there's a lot of guys in prison that listen to my channel and they're not supposed to, hey, don't listen to none of those channels. I get it, right? But hopefully you if it didn't dawn on you already, be careful with them phones, eh? If you're conducting business, go old school. Put it on paper or do it verbally in person. There's certain things you can't do, but there's other ways to do it. You guys know what it is. I don't know why I'm acting like, hey, I forgot. Hey, the bad guy, the cops are watching. Never mind. All I'm talking about is things in the past. Code talk. Code talk is always going to override sign language. There's cameras everywhere. Like I remember being in Pelican Bay SHU, there was a camera on every cell. How are you supposed to sign in there? That's where I was told. Okay, we don't sign. We don't sign. Look at, see these cameras? Even if they're not on, assume they are. Anytime you see a camera, assume that thing's recording you. Might not even be facing you. Assume it is though. You never know. Anyways, that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you for hopefully by the time this video posts, we'll be at 46,000 on this channel. We're hitting 50,000 soon, hopefully. We'll see. But everyone, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.